Well, the Florida Legislature's 60-day regular session can go by many names, but here's the one it's earned.
It's time now for 60 Days of Stupid.
After all, only the Florida Legislature could pass a crackdown on sex in public park toilets that busted the House sponsor soliciting sex in a public park toilet.
I wish this situation to no one.
We've covered the Florida man moments in state politics for years, from the Florida man who ran the Florida First Jobs Tour on a bus from Tennessee.
Oh, gosh.
To the Florida man who was clearly under the influence of something besides lobbyists.
I'm a state representative. Are you okay? You okay? You all right?
By the way, he climbed the ranks and is now one of the most powerful lawmakers on matters of health care. Well, the Florida Legislature has done a lot of things they'd like us to forget in recent sessions, like locking the public out of a meeting on health care while proudly declaring the liberty to keep us in the dark.
Liberty! Liberty! Liberty!
And like voting and then voting again on the same bills in the name of absent lawmakers without their permission, and like leaving work early while claiming you didn't.
The business of the Senate concluded early today.
And that's Senator Elizabeth Benequisto, who once told us she was at an out-of-town barbecue because work let out early, while her colleague pushed her voting button, making it look as if she was still at work. She claims by mistake.
I can understand how they may say that it looks sloppy.
Well, if you're wondering who's responsible for the rules in that chamber, that would be Senator Elizabeth Benequisto, chair of the Senate Rules Committee.
The business of the Senate concluded early today.
But the trouble in Tallahassee goes far beyond the follies we've seen on the chamber floor. And each week we highlight the doozies that can play out behind the scenes. And one of the biggest has been burning working class families in Florida each year for the past decade.
Affordable housing is a human rights crisis facing our state, and Florida's renters have the highest rent burden in the nation.
Have you ever wondered why it can be so hard to find affordable homes across much of Florida? Well, we have a shortage of affordable homes in part because the legislature is raiding the state's affordable housing fund.
Those dollars, unfortunately, are swept by the legislature and swept significantly this year to be used for who knows what. That's going to have a huge impact on the little guy and gal.
That fund is paid for by a dedicated real estate tax. When people buy property in Florida, they pay the tax that by law is set aside for affordable housing programs. It's supposed to help struggling families buy homes, help seniors and the disabled fix their homes, and it's supposed to give builders incentives to build homes that working class families can afford. But year after year, state lawmakers have been raiding billions from that fund to pay for their own pet projects, and House leaders are trying to do it again by raiding more than $240 million in this year's budget. Do you think some of them even know they're doing it?
I'm not sure they do.
Jeff Bagwell is an advocate for affordable housing who knows the leaders raid the money in the budget talks behind the scenes, while rank and file lawmakers just have an up or down vote on the final deal.
We know the politicians have other things to think about, too. It's not just housing.
It's campaign donations.
Right.
And it's the PAC money.
Exactly. So many things they have to worry about.
Re-election. They also have to worry about climbing the ranks of leadership, raising money, raising more money. So we'll make a deal now, with the lawmakers worried about so many things as they cut the final deals behind closed doors this week.
It's time now for 60 Days of Stupid.
If state lawmakers stop raiding the Affordable Housing Fund in the regular session, we'll stop calling it 60 Days of Stupid.